Greetings, Glitter Gang, and welcome back to Kathryn Scraps Live. My name is Kathryn, and this is the Quick and Easy Coffin album. In the first part of this video series, we completed the Coffin album base. It'll be easier to see everything once it's not black on black on black, once we get some pattern paper in here. But this is the binding where it's going to attach to the cover, and then this is how it opens. All right. Turn the page, and then you get 4 coffins. 4 coffins again. And then your final coffin. All right, so that's the album base. That's what we've done so far. In the previous video, I showed you how to make a template for the coffin. And I explained that the remnant from the template, if you cut the template out carefully so that it leaves the 12 by 12 you cut the remnant out from, that the remnant can be used to pick your papers, right? Because you can see, like, oh, do I want this part of the paper? Okay, do I want this part? Do I want this part? Does it look better if I have more house? That sort of thing. And because this is 1/8 of an inch all the way around bigger than your pattern paper, you can actually just use a pen to cut it out to trace it, and it'll be easy for you to see. Okay. That being said, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make another, I don't need this anymore to make my coffin. So I'm going to cut 1/8 of an inch off all of the edges. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to use this for the pattern paper for the inside of the coffins. I'm just going to use kind of like background paper. Let me get one. I'll show you what I'm thinking of. Because the papers that go on the inside of the coffins are really just, not very much of them is going to show after we get our photo mats on there. So we don't really need to be too picky about our design. So let me kind of get some and show you. Hold on. All right. And I do have some of these printed already. We need a total of 12. Hey, Burrito. How are things in Burritoville? Whoa! Marcel, you almost died. I saved your life. All right. No. I want the paper, not little kittens. Okay, there we go. Thank you. All right. Okay. So what I mean is on the inside of these coffins, right? Once we have the photo mat, so this is the photo mat. Let me get something white. Oh, whatever. You're smart. Here, I'll put this white coffin on top of it. Okay. So that's the coffin shape. You can see that once we get the photo mat on, not much is going to show. So we don't really have to worry on the inside. We're only going to have photo mats on the inside. We're not going to have photo mats on the outside. So on the inside, we don't have to worry about like perfectly framing the paper because it's not as big of a deal. We can just cut these however we want. You know what I mean? So we just need to pick the 12 that we like the best, and the ones that I like the best, hopefully there's 12 of them. If not, I'll just maybe reprint a couple. But the ones that I like the best are these kind of acid wash looking ones. Okay. So they're the ones with this pattern. By the way, this is, see how they have like these kind of, they're all the same pattern, but they have these really bright colors mixed in to the dark. These are the ones I want to use like more of. Yeah. So like that, like that. Those are the ones. So, yeah, these ones are not as exciting. I mean, these are cool patterns, but I kind of like these darker ones more. And I have 2, 4, I have like 6 of them, 7 of them. Yeah, maybe we'll mix in some ones like this as well. What do you think, Cheeto? Yeah. He's like, I think I want to climb on your back. Hey, you getting sleepy? No, he is not getting sleepy. He is not. He is not. So anyway, but Kathy included quite a few background type papers. So we have plenty of these like wallpaper type papers that we can use for this project. So we're going to be in good shape. No problem. Ooh, I like the one that just printed actually. Look at these. Oh, you really? Really? Look at these with the orange. And this one's got this like inky black section. Printer, you have been doing so well. Here I was just thinking how you hadn't had a jam, how you really have been doing like a heroic job printing all these papers. And now what are you doing? You're just jamming. You're just jamming. So let's not do that again, okay? Let's not. All right. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So if you want to know how to make this template's in the last video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line the sides up with the 1/8 inch mark on my desk. So you can see I'm lined up with the 1/8 inch mark to the side of this. That way I can put my ruler on the 1 inch line and my ruler will hold down the coffin. So I'm going to get a much cleaner cut by doing it this way. Okay. Remember, we just need to remember that we started with the short side. Okay. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Just going to go all the way around. All right, just all right, there we go. Okay, so this is now sized to be the pattern paper. So let's go ahead and pick some of our favorites. Now I'm kind of hesitant because I'm wondering if the stuff that's about to come out is going to be really cool, but all right. So I mean, ultimately I need 12 of these, so I don't really have to worry. I'm going to go through on my first pass and pick like my 6 favorite. And we'll start with those. All right, let's just start with these. And I'm just going to do a couple. Let's pick these 2. Will look good next to each other. If we capture this little bit of newspaper, then they'll coordinate with each other. All right. So the most important thing is that we get as close to this edge as we can, because we want to get as much of the newspaper as we can. Okay. All right, now you have a couple choices. You can trace it and then stick it down, or you can just be bold. Just be bold. When you turn it, just keep your hand on the center as a weight. So you keep them stuck to each other. There you go. Okay. And then this one I can just go all the way down. Oop, I didn't get all the way through though. Of course. All right, am I free? Oh no, I didn't do this side. Great. Okay. And then there we go. Let me cut it all the way down to the bottom. Okay. Now, okay. So this is going to go on one half. All right. And then this will go on the other. And they will be in conversation with each other because of the newsprint. Hello. Hi. Are you purring for your friends? Are you purring for your friends? I want to get at least one little sandwich, one coffin sandwich done. And then, so we can really get the full vibes. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be cool. Okay. Okay, so these are gonna go like so. That's gonna be the layout. Let me just and then I'm just gonna, all right, now I need to get my coffin. Okay, because this is where they're gonna go. All right, how cool. How cool. All right, so I'm going to put brushed corduroy away and swap it for black soot. Oops. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and ink I have a new pad on my black soot, so it's going to take it a little bit to get the ink kind of built up on it. If you're wondering why I'm pounding the ink pad so hard, that's why. Just going to go back all the way around it to make sure that it's looking good. All right. And now we'll do this one. All right. Okay. All right, so we got those down. So now we're just gonna tape these coffins. And what I'm gonna do is just gonna have each piece of tape go off the edge so that I know that each of these little kind of coffin joints has tape on it. So see, that's how I'm going off the edge each time. And then I can just come back through with my scissors and trim those. But yeah, here we go. Quick and easy album that's very cool. I'm going to put a nice long line of tape down the center because these are going to have magnets. So we are going to want to make sure that middle is well stuck down for magnet reasons. All right, so let me just stick another piece of paper in the printer because it's being awfully quiet. And then I'm going to just clean up the tape. Okay, so, okay, now we can go ahead and stick them down. So I'm going to peel all my tape, and it's a lot of pieces because it is a hexagon. I mean, I don't know if it's a well, it's a 6-sided shape. I don't know if it's a hexagon unless they're all equal. But it is, you know, it's 6-sided, so you do have to peel quite a few little bits of tape. But, ta-da! All right, so now we're going to go ahead and burnish that. Okay, and then do the one beside it. Okay. Let me go okay. And now we're going to stick this down. Rebecca, I haven't prepared one tutorial or cutting guide. Now I did, or in the previous section, I did explain how to make your coffin. So if you have access to archives, you have everything you have all the information to draw your own coffin template if you need it. And if you don't have access to archives, it's $5 a month. And then also later this weekend, I'll upload those videos to YouTube and make a YouTube playlist. So, all right. So we're going to do on one side a folder and on the other side a photo mat. And I did get asked about a tutorial or album basics guide for the Christmas album as well. So maybe what I can do is sometime before the end of the year, write them up. So for the people who really do want them written down with more streamlined videos, that sort of thing. But I'm not making any promises because I did already give the measurements, and it's just, you know, so it is there for you. So I may not do it. And I'm not planning on doing it, but there have been requests, so I'm going to think about it. All right. Okay, so what we want to do now is I think what I might want to do is I'm going to take my original thing here, this. See how I like lined up exactly where the photo mat needs to be? I'm going to copy, or not copy. What am I trying to say? I want to make like a guide for how to line up the photo mat, I guess. So I want to get it kind of so that it will be in the same position on each of them, is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? So what I'm trying to do is figure out kind of like where exactly to line it up, which I think is the answer is going to be, it's going to be right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trace around it. But yeah, you will have you'll have everything you need in the archives one way or another. You'll be able to make it. So yeah, I want to make a template for where to put the photo mat. So the photo mat's in the same place on each one. Okay. That's all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace it, and I have it 2.5 inches up from the bottom. Okay. All right. So there it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 1/8 of an inch outside this line. That way I can just lay this white piece over my pattern paper and then line the photo mat up inside it. And I won't have to, like, if the photo mats aren't the exact perfect right size, because of this extra 1/8, I will be able to see where they need to go and center them, no problem. And you'll see what I mean when I actually get it down. But yeah, this is a very easy thing. All you have to do is follow the instructions on how to make your template. And then once you've got your template, it actually is super simple. Okay, so see, now I have this hole, all right? And then I can go in here, all right? And I can line this up on my pattern paper. Okay. And then when I want to stick my photo mat down, my photo mat doesn't have to be perfectly the right size, because I can just center it in there. And then I know when I peel this up, my photo mat's in the exact right spot. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to put magnets on this. The magnets are going to go under the photo mats themselves. I was like, where's my tape though? I do need that. All right. I agree, Mary. I think this would be really fun for October dailies. This one, like I said, this one's only 3 pages, and it does have 12 spaces for photos, so, or 12 coffins, I guess, that are for decorating on the inside. So there's plenty of coffins on the inside while still keeping the outside blank so you can highlight or showcase your pattern paper. So what I mean by when I say there's 12 coffins for photos, there will be no photo on this coffin. This coffin will just be pattern paper. So there's these inside coffins with 3 pages. There's 12 of these. Okay, so there's 4 inside coffins per page. All right, so that's what I mean. So that's actually really nice because, you know, you have plenty of room for your photos, and you're not going to cover up your spooky papers so you can still have your spooky coffins, your paper showcased. So that way you get all of your Halloween kind of stuff that you want. All right, so now we're just going to peel the tape off of these. And I'm going to put the folder on this side so that it can open to the outside and it's not next to the spine. It's just going to be a lot easier that way. So we're going to, remember we made one photo folder and one photo mat. You can do them both as photo folders if you want. All right, so just going to line this up here. And then once I've got that lined up, I'm just going to do the folder so that it opens out this way, which means spine on the same edge as the free edge of the coffin. And then press that into place. And so it'll open out that way. And then just go ahead and move your coffin to the other side. And then you can stick your photo mat down. All right, then go ahead and burnish both of them. And then where we're gonna do magnets is we're gonna put a magnet here, photo mat on top of it. And then we're gonna do magnet here, metal here, probably magnet here. Or maybe actually we'll put a magnet here and then metal on the inside to stick it to the magnet. So we're going to just take our, let me get a magnet and a metal. We're going to need 2 magnets and 1 tin cap. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stick stick my magnet kind of right in the middle there. It doesn't have to be like actually in the middle because you'll just use the magnets themselves to line up with each other. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the magnet on the red line, so that when I then close the coffin, I can pick up the magnet will stick itself over here. Okay. And then I'm gonna put a piece of tape. And then all you have to do is stick the metal piece to the back of the magnet. I think I'm going to do 3 magnets. What do I want to do? 3 magnets? Yeah, I think I'm going to do 3 magnets, friends. All right, just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to put a magnet here just to see which direction it sticks. And then close and then tape. All right, so we'll just use 3 magnets. All right. Now that I have all my magnets in place, I just need my 1, 2, 3 photo mats, and then whatever I want to put here. So I can actually put something decorative there if I so desire. You know, that's up to me, or I can put another photo mat there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll put something decorative there. Let me find my photo mats left over from the holiday album, and we'll just use those. honestly why. I only have horizontals left, but I don't think that's true. I think I'm just missing the bag of verticals, which means I put it in a weird spot. Good job. Good job, self. Ugh, irritation. Irritation. Okay. All right. So let me try and find it. Just gonna grab. Okay. All right. Where did I put the photo mats? That is the question that I have for past Kathryn. Doesn't really matter. Here, I found some photo mats. Okay, here we go. So, caps are thinner than magnets, yes. If you want to save space, go with caps. But they're weaker than magnets, so that's the trade-off. Okay, I at least have 4, which is how many I need to finish this, so that we can at least see how it's going to look. All right, now, this is the 8.5 by 11 set of papers. And what I'm thinking is that these images will look great on the fronts of the folder. Okay, so I'm just going to do 3 photos on the inside, but this, know that you could do 4 photos on the inside if you wanted to. Okay, so it's up to you. But I'm going to do 3 because I want to use those creepier images. But there's more room for photos than I'm going to do if that's what you want. But I do want to do this as a bit of a paper showcase as well. So 2 of the photo mats, or I'm just going to tape all 4 of the photo mats really quickly here. Now, you could probably pull images from the 12 by 12s as well. I don't think you have to have the 12 by 12 and the 8.5 by 11 to make this work, but the images on the 8.5 by 11 are a little scaled down, so that's why I'm going to use them like this. But just know that, you could probably do this being selective with your 12 by 12 images as well. I don't think you have to have both paper sets. It's not the same as the last album where we're using the paper like completely as is uncut, like we did in the Christmas one, where I used both. Like I had a really specific design to use both sets of papers. In fact, design the album around the 2 sets of papers. This one is not like that. I'm using them because I think that the scale is a little bit better, but if you don't want to buy both sets, I'm sure you can do it without. And of course, you don't have to use the same paper anyway. You could do this with anything that you want to do. Any paper collection, Halloween paper collection that you have, including if you prefer cutesy ones, of course, use little cutesy ones. You can use any paper collections for this, of course. All right, so. Okay, now, if you wanted to, you know, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the tape from 3 of them. But of course you can do 4, which would mean that would be 48 photos. If you did 4, that would be 48 photos in this 3-page book. Okay. So with just 3 coffin bases, you would get 48 photos if you did all 4 of these as photos. It's still 36 with showcasing paper on the front of the coffin and on the front of the folder. It's still 46 or 36. So it's a lot, you know, it's a lot. This is a very good album for photos, even though it's such an odd shape and it's not all that big. And we're doing all this paper showcasing. So okay, so here is where you could put another photo if you wanted to, but I'm going to do a design. And I think what we'll do is I think we'll do this headless lady. Okay, so a quick and easy way to figure out where to cut to get this framed right is I can just say I want to make sure I definitely have this baby, this head, and like her elbow. If all of those are covered by my photo mat, then that's where I can cut it. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to go around. Once I've covered all those things, and now I can just go ahead and, oh, I could just use my template if I wanted to. But if you don't want to go through the trouble of making a template, this is a way that you can do it as well. Is you can just cover it with something that's the same size until you don't see anything. Until you don't see anything that you want included. Okay. All right, so now all I have to do is line the bottom of this up with 6 1/4. Okay, and then 4 1/4. And then last cut. Okay. All right, so then this will go right there. All right, look at that. Now I'm wondering, would I like that better over there and then put the photo mat there? What do you think? I mean, it's not like it's a big deal, but I think I like it better this way, which means I'm just gonna okay. Perfect. So that came off pretty easy. So clearly it wants to be over on the other side. So we'll just put it over on the other side. All right. So I'm going to use, because this has been picked up once, I'm going to put new tape, and I'm going to put slightly larger tape. So I use 1/4 inch the first time, I'm going to use 3/8 the second time, so that parts that were not taped before get taped this time. So we're taping on fresh cardstock, some of it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this. Yeah, off with their heads. Look, somebody already cut off heads for me. This is the perfect paper collection for me. All right. Okay. All right, there we go. So now we're going to ink this one and then stick it down. Yeah. We're going to be cutting off limbs. Limbs, heads. No one's keeping 100% of their body parts. I will not allow intact bodies. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I'm going to go ahead and use a 3/8 inch tape on the back of this one as well, just because there is still some tape stuck to this one. All right. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited already. Look at it. It's so good already. Okay. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so how does this work? So this is what you're met with. All right, so this is the cover. This is where the cover is over here. Whoop. All right, so this is the front cover. You open the front cover. There'll be your showcase paper right here. Then you open your coffin. This is what you see. We just need to put paper here. And I think what I'm going to do is, see here on this scrap that's left over, there's this little edge. I'm going to just use this. So this is 1.5 by 3, that tab. So I'm going to cut the paper to 1.25 by 2 3/4. So this should just fit right on there. And it will once we cut off. I just wonder, would it be better lighter? Well, I'd have to tape it back together now. No. Okay, that's too hard. We're not going to worry about it. We will just tape it. It's not a big deal. All right, so we're going to put this on there. I don't need to get too in the weeds over the most perfect paper choice. I know I've said before, but if you stick it down and it looks good, then just keep it. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to use the large angle punch to chomp the corners. And then the edges, ink the edges with the black soot, and stick it down. All right. Okay, so now we've got that flap done on this side, and then of course once it's decorated over here, we'll put something that coordinates over here. But, you know, we're in really good shape. My room is not in great shape. My room is not in great shape. Okay, so I just want to see if I have like a showstopper kind of paper printed yet, or if they're going to print at the very, very end like a bunch of jerk faces. And unfortunately, I do think that the answer is they're going to print at the very end like a bunch. I've been going so long the battery's died. Okay, so now I'm just going to use my template to line up where I want. I want to get the bat and the tree, but the poison, I'm going to cut the poison out. The poison and its accompanying bat. So that I can move it over and keep it with the rest of the piece. All right, so I'm just cutting out this poison sign because there's no way to cut it where the edge of the poison sign isn't in the frame. So if I cut it out, okay, we're in good shape. All right, so back to this. So I want to get this bat and the front door of the house. Okay. There we go. That's how we're going to do it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is just going to okay. And oops, actually, let me do this. Let me just do it with the pen so you can see a little bit better. I said I was going to use the pen so that you could see. And again, because this template is 1/8 of an inch larger than what I need, I can go ahead and use the pen so it's easier to see and then cut from there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ruler and I'm just going to line the 1/8 inch line of my ruler up with the pen line. Okay. And I'm just gonna, I'm not trying to save the paper that much because it is such an odd shape where just, you're not gonna get really good scraps out of this. So I'm not too worried about trying to save the paper. Okay, now before I cut this side, I want to see about how do I want to move the poison in, or what if I don't want to move the poison in, what do I want to do? And I think that if I move the poison in just enough that you could tell that it was a poison sign, then I think it'll be good enough. So what I mean by that is it's just got to come in enough that the skull and crossbones will be part of the page. Okay. Oh shoot, what I want. Quickly ink it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be enough that you could tell what it was. So it looks intentional. So that's really all that it's about, is it's trying to be intentional in how it's designed. All right. Okay. I just cut the bottom off so it'd be a little bit easier for me to line my ruler up. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is once again line up with the pen mark, 1/8 inch lined up with the pen. Okay, and then I'm going to cut all the way up because I don't know where it ends because the poison is covering it. And then same thing with this one. Just really, this one I really don't have that much to work with in terms of lining it up, but it's good enough. It's good enough. All right. So we know that says poison. So that's better than having just this little section, which was what it was before. So that's all. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this and stick it in the book. And I want to pull I'm going to pull my flap out of this section with the bats on it. So I'm just going to cut that while I'm here. So, okay. I'm going to cut, and I know it needs to be 1 1/4. And then by 2 3/4. All right, so that's ready to go as well. So grab your pieces for your handles from your scraps, and that way they'll coordinate and you don't have to try and like figure out how to cut a new one. All right, and then just remember, like when I do these coffins, I'm going to go off the edges because I want to make sure that all these weird corners are totally stuck down. So I'm going to go off the edges. And then just because the shapes are so large, I'm also gonna hit the middle. Okay. All right. Now, oh, and then while I have the tape out, let's do this little guy. Oh my gosh. I could tell this album's going to be a stunner. Some of them, you just know. Some of them, I mean, I don't think I make, like, it's not often that I'm like, well, this album just sucks. Although, we did have an album that just sucked not that it sucked, but the Vintage Staples album got reclassified from an actual album to, what did I call it? A catalog of inserts or something like that. So it ended up just in a fail state. So, you know, even at this point, I can still make mistakes, big ones. But some of them you just know that's not going to be a problem. All right, so now we're going to chomp this one. Okay, ink everybody. Ink the little bats, the little bats. Batman. All right. And then this is going to go here. On the back of the thing. And then all right, and then we'll stick this down. And there it is. Wow. So, Coffin number 1. Look at that. Love it. Okay. All right. So that's the gist, right? You've got all your elements you need. If this is something you want to get started on, you can do the construction. It's all, you've got all the parts and pieces. They'll be in the archives by tonight. So you can go into the archives and get started. You know, there'll be instructions on how to make your template. There's in the first, well, I think it's the second or third video in the archives folder, but it'll be like how to make the templates, how to do the construction. That'll be in there. And then, so you can get this far, okay? Everything you need to get this far is already in the archives with the measurements for you. Good to go if you have access to archives. If you don't have access to archives, you know, it's available for $5 a month, or you can pay for a year and get 2 months free. And then there's always a link in the video description for access, how to get access to archives. So I will be back next week. There's no class tonight. I'll be back next week. It will be book club for The Night Watchman by Louise Erdrich. That right there. And we will be continuing on with the decorating of this album. So, but yeah, that's the first layout already ready to go. All right. So it's just going to be, you know, here's 2 more papers to showcase, 2 more papers to showcase, 6 paper to showcase. And then on the inside, we got 4 coffins across that we'll be decorating. So there's more work to be done, but it is quick and easy. It's already assembled. It's just a matter of matting now. Matting, lots and lots of matting. So thank you so much for joining me, everyone. It's been fun seeing the Coffin album come to life so quickly and easily as promised. I will be back next Thursday, the 27th of October at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time. Link to time zone converter in the video description so you can check out what time that is where you are. I will be here at 9 p.m. Eastern USA time next week as well. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon, evening, weekend. Stay hydrated. Enjoy the fall weather. Unless you're in Australia, then enjoy the spring weather. And I will see you next time. Bye now.